What's up, tea drinkers? Who's ready to spill? Welcome to The Tea with KG, hosted by your girl, Kaylee Grace. Here you'll find your weekly boost of real talk mixed with laughter, healing, and all of those vulnerable, messy moments in between. The Tea with KG is a safe space for you to show up exactly as you are. We are here to share real-life stories from around the globe and be a community of love, joy, and celebrating life. This is a real deal show, so there will be coarse language and sensitive topics discussed. The most beautiful stories oftentimes emerge from the darkest of places, and we're here to explore it all. There's room for everyone at this tea time, so grab your drink of choice, spark it up, or just relax and soak it up. Cheers, and let's spill. What's up, tea drinkers? We are back with another episode of The Tea with KG. I'm your host, Kaylee Grace. We are here to spread the sparkle. What is up, all of the tea drinkers across the globe? We are leaving fiery Aries season, and if anyone knows me knows, we are stepping into the earthy goodness of Taurus season, baby. So early shout out to all my Tauruses out there. Maybe you have some Taurus in your birth chart. Shout out to that earth energy on April 20th, 420. Also shout out if you celebrate 420. Taurus season begins. There's also a new moon solar eclipse in Aries on April 20th at 12:12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, actually. Any of my people out there who follow numerology, or you maybe see angel numbers all day, every day, like yours truly, 1212 may have some significance for you. Regardless, any of those repeating numbers are always signs from spirit, so great to take into account. And if you like to break it down even further, 1212, we've got the 33. So again, we've got that repeating numerology, angel numbers happening with this eclipse. So before diving into all of the things with the eclipse, and I'm sure you're all feeling it, because when the universe and the planets do their thing, we feel it. It shifts here on Earth. That's why the ocean moves, the moon, the sun, all of it. It all rotates. It's all energy. It all has an effect. And depending on where these planets and eclipses go into, depending what house, what sign, it can magnify or maybe detract from the intensity of what you're feeling. But again, listen to your intuition. It's all your own journey, and you know you best. So what you're feeling, it's not for nothing, and lean into it. Before we dive into all that, I want to talk a little bit about Taurus season coming up. I'm actually so excited. I mean, surprise, surprise. I just love Taurus season. I love spring. I love the flowers blooming. I just love the freshness after the deadness of winter. It's just such a beautiful time, especially here in Vancouver. The flowers, like, oh my God, I'm such an earth goddess in that way. Like, give me flowers, baby. And of course, I am David Rose from Schitt's Creek with the cherry blossoms. All of my besties and my partner, he knows, they all know that I can't get enough. And like, I can't stop. Like, it never gets old. Like, I see a cherry blossom, I'm taking a picture. Like, I can't not. It's just so beautiful. And I just feel like the pictures and videos never do it justice. It's just like anything, right? You can never capture nature's true essence and beauty through a phone or a lens. Like, it's always going to be better in person, always. Not only because, well, one, it's in person, but you get to feel the energy of that beautiful gift of nature as well. And I think that's a really big thing. For me, it is anyway. I definitely heal a lot from nature. I am that girl. If I touch a tree, I can feel it. And I feel like that's something that's been natural for me since childhood. I always loved being outside. We lived in front of the woods, like in New Brunswick. So I would play in the woods. I would use my imagination and make things up. I would just lay in fields with flowers and just, I was here for it always, and it always felt natural to me. I also was a rock collector, and I laugh now because I look around this room, even in my hand right now, I'm holding a crystal. I'm like, of course you loved rocks and crystals when you were a child. And I think sometimes as we grow into adulthood, we forget to lean into that inner child and what made sense when you were a kid, because that's likely your part of your soul's calling, or maybe it is your total soul's calling, or maybe it's just something you should reintegrate back into your life. Like, where does the play go, right? I feel like play is such an important part of life, no matter how old you are. And I think that's what keeps you young at heart, is when you are playful and you can lean into that and just enjoy the little things, right? Like, oh my God, take me to watch a sunset anywhere and I am overflowing with joy. I am so happy. It gets me right in the feels. Like, take me to the nature, baby. Ocean, forest, sunset. It does not matter. I am here for it. It just shows that leaning back into those things that made sense as a kid, because I'm not saying we didn't overthink things perhaps in childhood, but a lot of times when you're young, before you get life experience, before trauma happens, before the world can shift your vision a little bit, you lean into what feels right and you don't think too much about it. And that's our intuition. Like, it's just such a natural thing, but it's so easy to lose touch with. So don't ever feel bad if you don't feel in touch with your intuition, because I think we can go through phases in life where we might lose touch with her, him, they, however you identify. I like to call my intuition her. I don't know, I just like to do it. So that's what I do with my own. But I definitely lost touch with her for a while, and you go through so much doubt. You're just always questioning everything and you're not sure, or you're always looking to others to help you make your choices. And at the end of the day, like, we always know what's best for us, but when things rock you or you go through challenges that life is going to bring, that's just part of the human experience. Doesn't mean it always makes sense, doesn't mean it's fun and playful all the time, but that is just how we learn and how we grow and evolve. But it can definitely mess with your connection with yourself. Like, oh my God, and the healing process through that, and refining yourself and leaning back into that intuition and remembering what she sounds like, remembering what are those feelings when you just know I'm in the right place right now, or this is what I need to do. And I think it's a really individualized thing. I know for myself, when I know in my gut that something needs to be done, it's a very, very strong feeling and I don't question it. Like, I have examples I can look back in life where I knew I had, for me, I guess the easiest ones to pull from are like when I know I need to move somewhere. I know that sounds like such a big thing, but like after university, I knew I was going to go live in Australia. It was supposed to be a year, but it turned into 2. I mean, if you've ever been there, can you blame me? So that was the one thing I just knew. I was like, I don't know how. I just know this needs to happen. Same with moving to Vancouver. It was like, hell yeah. My soul was like, finally, let's go. Get out there. The West Coast is calling, honey. And it just felt like that. Again, I had no idea how it was going to work. It was such a process to find the right place without being there in person, and packing everything up and driving across the country with Benson and just figuring it all out. So it's just interesting to me though, because when it's right like that, even though it might be like so out of the picture for someone else, or it may not make sense to them, or you may have the naysayers being like, oh, I don't know how you're going to do that, or blah, 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 but you know it's right, you just do it. You're like, I don't really care what you say or think. I'm going to do it because it's right for me. And my life is mine and not yours. We're all living our lives to do what feels right and to hopefully be of service to humanity in some way and spread our light in whatever way that looks like. Your journey's yours. Lean into that so hard, because there's always going to be someone try and tell you you can't. And sometimes that someone might be yourself. I can relate to that. Like, oh my God, I know I'm supposed to be my biggest cheerleader, but honey, I am my biggest critic. And it's something I guess I work on all the time. Stop being hard on yourself, celebrate yourself, honey. And if things aren't moving as fast as you want, maybe there's a reason for that. And I always find that's a reoccurring lesson for me. So I'll be very curious when I finally process all that. And now might be the time for that. I mean, it's eclipse season, right? I feel like really trusting myself and being consistent and going for it, but realizing it's okay to take time and like recognizing the burnout, Because I'm sure we've all been there at some point. Maybe we're there now. Maybe you haven't been there. But if you've been through burnout, it is such a challenging thing to go through and heal from. And I feel like sometimes we fake ourselves out. Like we go back to doing certain things maybe before we're actually ready. And I don't know about you, but sometimes it's pressures from external forces or you within yourself. You're like, well, I should be ready now. I should be better now. I should be this. Should, right? And that's not the tea sometimes. Sometimes we need more time than we realize we do. I find that such a delicate dance and such a balance, right? Because it's like, okay, it's awesome to get time off and get to rest. And it's also, I shouldn't even say get to rest. We all are worthy of rest. That shouldn't even be a thing that we are trying to achieve. That should be something we give ourselves every single day. But I also know there's a lot of hard workers out there, and there's nothing wrong with that either. I know in my own experience, just pushing past that point sometimes when I know I should have rested sooner. And it's challenging. It's like, okay, where's the line between, okay, I've had enough rest, I need to get up and do the things, and doing the things. Like, because sometimes I'm like, am I ever going to feel ready to get back in the swing of things full force and like be in that energy again? And I know we will, because we always go through the shifts and the ebbs and flows and all of the things. But it's definitely something I battle with at times. I'm like, okay, has it been enough? Can I take more? Any listeners out there who resonate with what I'm saying, drop me a comment on Instagram, send me a DM. You're not alone. I feel it. I knew I was going to go on a tangent because that's just how we do. Let's float right back into talking about Taurus season because we all know I love it so much. All my Taurus gang out there, I know you're also rejoicing with me. We are like, hell yeah, let's go. We are here. It is spring. Let us bloom, honey. I really feel like we should all take that with us today and take it with you for as long as you want and embody that. It doesn't just have to be a Taurus season embodiment. It can be an all the time embodiment. It can be a one day embodiment. Think of this as your springtime. I'm blooming. I am stepping into my light era. If anyone has been watching RuPaul's Drag Race, I know we always talk about our different eras, but it's definitely been a big theme with season 15 of the US RuPaul's Drag Race, and they just crowned the winner. Oh my God, it was so good. If there are any other Drag Race fans out there, hit me up. I would love to talk about it because it's just so much fun, and I'm curious who your favorites were. Anyways, when you are approaching your life, take this with you. Embody that springtime energy. Move with the seasons. Move with Mother Earth. Go outside and see her beauty. I know for all my East Coasters, I know the snow is slowly but surely leaving. I know New Brunswick anyway. I'm so thankful that you've had some better weather. Get rid of that snow. We're done. We're over it. It is springtime. Let's go. And even here in Vancouver, like, yes, I love how we have all the flowers, but it could warm up a bit. We could have a little more sunshine, a little less gloom and doom with the rain. Like, I'm like, okay, let's go. But, it is what it is. There's a place for rain as well, but your girl loves some sunshine. Sunshine just makes me so happy. Like, I totally need it. It just makes everything better. And it's interesting because I can feel that ripple effect across so many people. I live like near the beach in a popular area, especially in the summertime. And when it's sunny out, it is lit down here. Everyone's out. People are happy. They're spreading their joy. And it's amazing what some vitamin D could do for the body, the spirit. It's just incredible. And again, that just comes back to nature's beauty, nature's bounty. Like, we are so lucky to have Mother Earth and to bask in her beauty every single day. Like, we do not know how lucky we are sometimes for this beautiful earth, and I just want to cherish her. So let's send a shout out to Mother Earth. I feel like Earth Day is soon too. Isn't Earth Day on 4/20 as well? Let's Google it right now. We need to know, because that would be pretty amazing. I have a feeling it is. Earth Day, when are you? You guys are with me. Oh, okay, the 22nd. I was close. I was like, I know it's in Taurus season. I know it's in April. April 2/2, even better. I love that. All right, so I guess this is going to be your episode for some Earth Day action too. Look at that. I didn't even realize. I tell ya, I'm just a channel. Whatever comes out, comes out. It all aligns though, right? It always connects, it's always interlinked, and that's what's up. I just feel like when the universe is synchronized like that, it's just always meant to be. So, as I mentioned, new moon solar eclipse in Aries. It's the first eclipse of the calendar year. It's also the first one in Aries after almost a decade. So, eclipse season always reminds us that without destruction, there's no creation. And we can take this opportunity to connect with what we truly desire to create. What do we want in this world? Where do we see our lives going? And we can start taking action in that direction. So sometimes when eclipse season's about, there can be some unpredictable changes, fast shifts, unexpected turning points, but try not to be fearful. I know sometimes that's challenging depending where the change is taking place and what type of change it is. There's so many different aspects to it, but try and see it as an invitation to let whatever has run its course fall away. You don't need that in your life anymore. If you know you're done with something, it's time to wrap it up and move to the next phase of your life. So release whatever is meant to end and what no longer has meaning so you can create that space for whatever is meant to arise and blossom in your life. See, there's that word blossom again. We're all about blooming, blossoming, embody that cherry blossom energy. So we are going to be transforming and blooming and reflecting. Sometimes the energy circulating this time can be, you might feel a little off, a little uneasy, maybe excited. There's a lot of energy flowing, so there's lots of feels that may be arising within you. And I find too that even though, yes, the eclipse takes place on April 20th, the energies, you can feel them before, during, even after. I think it all depends because energy is fluid, right? Sometimes, with full moons, I'll be feeling the vibes well before it, or sometimes after, during, So just be mindful and just listen to yourself because, as always, you know you better than anybody else. But don't ignore how you feel. I mean, it could be an opportunity for you to look within and see something maybe that needs healed further within you. Maybe it's a chance to relook at your life, see what needs shifting, see where you can make those changes that will give you whatever life that you dream of. And maybe it's beautiful if you are living your dream. Keep leaning into that. I think as human beings, there's always room for growth and evolution and healing, but it doesn't mean that's what every single day has to look like. Still be present and enjoy and find the playfulness, find the excitement, the joyfulness, the laughter, the love. Find those beautiful moments all day, every day, because at the end of the day, living in your alignment and feeling true joy and happiness, that's what's up. Eclipses are such a powerful time because they bring such profound changes, endings, beginnings. It can be personally, collectively, even just doing a quick scan of my own life, but also life of groups of people around me. I can see huge shifts happening this week, and I mean they have been happening. And if you want to step outside of the bubble again and look collectively even at the world, I know you can all think of some things in our world that are changing, and there's such an uncertainty sometimes with these changes. So wherever you find yourself on your journey, if you are on a journey of growth and expansion and evolving and learning, eclipses are such a powerful tool that you can use to usher in the change that you're looking for in your life. And again, so relatable. I've been feeling so much I don't know if heaviness is the right word, but I just know there's stuff I gotta release. I gotta let go of certain things so I can evolve and move forward. And I can just feel it. I feel that energy. I need to just wrap it up with a little bow and be like, see ya, honey. We're done here. You are released. So I can definitely feel these vibes. And I'm really just going to lean in and muster up the energy that I need while also respecting when I need to rest. During this time, there's always nourishing activities and also things possibly to avoid during eclipse season. I actually got this from therisingwoman.com. She's on Instagram too. It's just Rising Woman. Highly recommend checking that Instagram account out. They always post lots of information in terms of astrology, spirituality, all of the things. So if this type of stuff interests you, definitely check out the Rising Woman. So there's actually an eclipse season survival guide. So we're discovering the do's and don'ts for thriving during eclipse season. I just thought I would list off a few. I won't say them all because there's quite a few things here. But I thought this was interesting and maybe helpful if people are just feeling all over the place and you're not really sure what to do with yourself right now. I'm going to list off a few things from this Rising Woman Survival Guide that you can do to nourish your spirit during eclipse season. So some of these include allow inner transformation to occur. Now with this can actually be so challenging, but I really love it. It's like, okay, take this time, sit down, get your journal out, put a meditation on, whatever speaks to you in terms of your healing. Go to a yoga class, do whatever you need to do to release energy, to look within, see where we need to transform and heal. I really like that. Another thing on this list is go inward and reflect. Relax and unwind, spend time in nature, take deep rest, listen to your intuition. This is so funny. I feel like this is stuff we always talk about, but it's so true and it sounds so simple, but walking the walk is a lot harder than talking the talk. So actually letting yourself listen to your intuition can take some work, and it's okay if you're still in the working it out process. If you're not sure what listening to your intuition feels like, take a deep breath and think of a question, and whatever your immediate answer is to that question without even a second thought, that's where your intuition is telling you to go. A lot of times we know, but our brains will come in with the sabotaging thoughts. So it can be difficult, and it's not to say that you're always going to nail it. It's not to say that, but when you get more in touch with it, I think that I'm going to call it a bond, but like the bond between you and your intuition, it strengthens, and you can listen to her easier because you know what she sounds like. I know that I'm referring to her like a person, but I feel like it's a good analogy for looking at it. A few other nourishing activities for eclipse season. Write down your dreams. I have the hardest time remembering dreams. I always say I'm going to write them down, or like I'll remember the weirdest part of it and I'm like, what? So yeah, if you remember your dreams, props to you. I wish that I could remember mine better sometimes. I mean, sometimes I do. It just depends, but I think some people remember them a little better than others. Some more activities include, if you feel the need to sleep or nap more, do so. So a lot of this is just, rest, rejuvenate, participate in your spiritual practices, maybe take a little detox from social media, the news, cleanse your mind, tune in and listen, do some nice deep breaths, get in touch with your inner voice, journal, etc. So a lot of these practices are practices you can do anytime to keep your mind, your spirit, your emotions all in a healthy place. Some things that this little guide said to avoid is typical full moon or new moon rituals. This is interesting. It says this is a big one. It's best not to manifest during eclipses and instead focus on spiritual practice. You can do a releasing ceremony if need be. Again, trust your own intuition first. I love that they said that, trusting your intuition first, because that's what it comes down to. You know what you need. If you need to do something, you do it. Whatever feels right for you during this time. I see this a lot, actually. Like when I'm reading, I love educating myself with this kind of subject matter. And I always see this, like they always say to avoid signing important contracts during times like this. And I always find that so interesting because like that's not always possible. Sometimes like life is life and you have to get things done. So what they then say to that is just make sure you read the fine print. So that's a good practice anytime. This one also mentions like getting married or legally bound. It's like, this is also unavoidable, so don't worry. Just pay close attention to the details. That's interesting. So yeah, a lot of these things to avoid, it just comes down to with signing contracts. It says that sometimes with contracts, it can take the energy of when it was signed with it. So maybe it would be more chaotic if it was signed during an eclipse season. I was like, that's interesting. So I mean, again, take this with a grain of salt. That's a thing when it comes to energy. It's always such a personal thing. So again, I always say take this with a grain of salt. It's not the be all end all, but use your discretion. Like maybe parts of this resonates with you, maybe parts of it doesn't. That's okay. What resonates is for you. What doesn't resonate is not for you. It's for somebody else. So take what works or what feels right or what things you're like, oh yes, I like that or that makes sense. Take that because that's for you. And if you're like, hell no, then you can leave that. That's for somebody else. So yeah, I liked this little I say in air quotes survival guide, but it also has different tools for when big emotions come up during eclipse season, like inner child meditation, talking to a friend, counselor, family member, moving your body, time in nature, deep breaths, breath work and somatic embodiment type sessions, body work sessions, just a simple bath with some Epsom salts and essential oils. And I just love that because it just gives you a little bit of something to, as a guide, right? If you're just unsure and you have no idea, one of my biggest go-tos is I will just go to YouTube and type in like literally this, like Eclipse in Aries meditation or something like that. And a lot of times these awesome creators, they will have put out a guided meditation or like journal prompts or anything like that for during these times. So I really feel like that is cool if you like to have something audio. And it's funny because I don't always watch the video. I just like to have the audio on. So another good tip if you're just looking for new ways to venture into your spirituality and astrology. I like this too. They actually gave some different contemplations. So if you do journal, these are some great little prompts. How does this particular eclipse feel for me? Does it feel exciting or unnerving? Maybe a combination of both. Am I comfortable with the unpredictability? What needs to change in my life? How can I allow this eclipse to transform me? I think those are some really good prompts because, like we said, eclipses are all about transformation, jumping into that next step, and leaving behind what's no longer for you. So again, that will look different to everybody. There's a multitude of different places that you could experience this. It could be in your career, it could be in your home life, it could be in your relationships. There's so many things that this could pertain to. So again, take it however it applies to your life and just go with it and lean in. And it's okay if you're feeling all the feels right now. Trust me, you're not alone. I'm feeling the feels as well, but I'm really excited about it. I want to just lean into it and just go for it because to live the life you want, if you're not currently doing so, and I don't like saying that because it doesn't mean you're unhappy, but if you have big dreams, nothing wrong with that either. If you're not where you want to be yet, that's okay. I'm not where I want to be yet in every part of life. I'm trusting the process. I'm letting it flow. But I'm also know in order to get to where I want to be, I have to co-create with the universe. I have to take those steps. I have to put action out to the world, or those things, they just won't happen. And I do believe in a miracle. I do believe in divine intervention. I do believe that when spirit needs to intervene, they will. But I also believe that in order for us to keep going as adults functioning in society, we have to take steps as well. It's a balancing act. It's always about that balance. You know I'm going to bring it up. I feel like I bring it up every week. Without balance, there is no flow. And I straight up, when things are out of balance or out of whack, you feel it. Oh my God. I know when I'm not in balance and I'm just like, ugh. And I've been feeling that. So it's about recognizing that and then looking at your life and seeing, okay, what am I lacking in that I usually do that keeps me in alignment? And reintegrate some of those things back in. And I know with life and family and career and just everything, it can be so difficult just to do the things you know you need to do to keep you okay. Like, I give so much props to everyone out there, but I just keep envisioning the moms out there, and not just the moms, but moms of kids with special needs. Like, I keep having that vision flash in my head right now, so I have to bring it up. I want you to know how, oh God, I'm getting emotional now too. I want you to know how incredible you are and to keep going, and you are an earth angel. And there's a reason that you are the mom or parent of that special needs child. They picked you for a reason. And I just wanted to give you a special shout out. I just felt very, very called to do that. So whoever that's for, take that for you. You are amazing. Big, big hugs for you. So we're going to call that tea time for today. I hope anything that resonated with you today, you took that for you. If any of this was not at all resonating, I'm glad you left it for whoever it's for. I just want to wish love and light to everybody. I'm sending you all the beautiful energy, all the hugs as we take on this eclipse. We got this. Give yourself lots of love. Give love to those around you. We got this. We are here together and we will get through this. And I'm going to take this transformation as a positive thing. That's how I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to put it out there for you too. Even if it's painful or doesn't make sense, or maybe it's a great, awesome change and there's not a lot of negative with it, lean into it. No matter what, it's for a bigger purpose. It's going to benefit your life in some way, even if you've got to go through the muck to get to bloom into that beautiful lotus, right? So take this journey as you will. Each day is a gift, and we have to take that with us as we move through life. Roll with the punches, cry it out, put your favorite cry movie on, do what you got to do to work through those emotions in a healthy way, and we got this. So love and light to everybody. Happy eclipse, happy Taurus season, and we will see you next week.